Good evening. So the first thing I need you to do is acknowledge the fact that I'm entirely on my own. Johnny no mates tonight, except for you lot. And just if you can, confirm for me that my audio is working, because I do have a habit of not providing audio for these streams. So somebody in the chat, good evening. Reverend Kathy, Sarah Davis, lovely to see you. Diz, just let me know if the audio is working. It appears to be, because I'm getting captions, so that's good. I had a technical session with Graeme this morning, who helped me work out how to make this work properly, I think. Because, you know, old men, technology, not easy. I'm glad you can hear me, Reverend Kathy. How are you? Loud and clear. All is good. Thank you, Diz. Thanks, Vendetta 9000. Good to see you all in the chat. Graeme has developed what can only be described as a possibly terminal condition of an actual social life. It's Valentine's weekend, and he's quite rightly investing his time in Kat, his partner. And I believe they've gone to an Ash concert. Don't know where, but he is sharing pictures of it at the moment. From wherever they are. And hey, Vendetta 9000, what do you mean, what no Hannah? Am I not good enough? What am I? Chop chicken? What do they call it? What's that phrase? Can't remember. Hannah is in a train, on a train, in a train. Let's get this right. Hannah is in a train on her way home, and tells me that she may well join us later, which would be a pleasure. Because otherwise you're just going to have to listen to me ranting on about Pam Bondi, the Epstein files, the terminal decline of Western civilization, the problem with my doctors, the fact that DHL delivered something badly damaged today. But it was a nice present anyway. I'll just rabbit on until somebody decides to come and join the room, or you will get fed up with me and we... decide that we'll all go and join Graeme at his Ash concert. Maybe that's what we should do. I wonder if we could go live to the Ash concert. I'm fairly certain that Graeme will try and call us at some point in time, and Kat will try and stop him. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Wayne, let me just try and get that. Hanneman King. That's all I could read on the chat there. Hanneman King Tube. Hanneman King Tube. Yeah, Wayne, I don't know. I messaged him. He normally dials in, so hopefully he will. It could be that I've made the Zoom call unable to be accessible by Milkman. Maybe I put the Milkman filter on. That's what I normally try to do anyway, just to stop Wayne interfering. Nothing like listening to Graeme rant on Pygmalion 1963. That's true. You have to admire Graeme for the work that he does on this channel. I know you guys do. That's why you always turn up for his shows. And increasingly, I look at the technology that he manhandles into existence for every one of these shows, and the work that he puts into making them. And I am slightly in awe of him every day. But I do like the fact that somebody's suggesting there that this might be a slightly more professional Friday night. Professional version of the Friday night social. Much better without that Graeme bloke. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's... I mean, obviously, I can't mention, because of the impending court cases, his involvement with Prince Andrew and Colonel Gaddafi. That'll all come out over the weekend, I'm sure. I don't know if anyone's seen that, actually. There's a Channel 4 News story tonight that the latest of the Epstein files stories is that Prince Andrew apparently was trying to arrange a meeting for Epstein with Colonel Gaddafi. So there's that. Let me ask you a question before and if anybody joins us. How are you? How are you doing this week? I have noticed amongst friends who are not necessarily normally involved in politics that they're very aware of the cacophony of stories that are flying around at the moment. The the number of threads that you pull on in these stories, and the more and more elite men who are implicated, and the terrible stories that are coming out from victims. Some very, very brave women who have lived with the knowledge of what happened to them and how they were mistreated 20, 30 years ago in many cases. And we just seem to be constantly now inundated with endless stories. So how are we all doing? Is it overwhelming? Is it engaging? I don't know. Look, some of us political wonks spend a lot of time embedded in this stuff. And I've been diving around within the DOJ website, which I'm slightly concerned about today. And I'm going to do some work over the weekend because I've come up with a rabbit hole idea for myself. But considering the DOJ, Pam Bondi's DOJ have been capturing the searches that senators and Congress people were doing on the Epstein files on the 4 computers that they provided for them. And I don't know if you saw in her hearing this week, she had printouts of exactly what individual Democratic Congress people, had searched for, which she was planning to weaponize in her rant. By the way, the Dow Jones 5,000. It's over 5. Don't say that it's not important. It's very important. The Dow. I don't know. President Trump is fucking marvelous. He's an amazing human being, and you shouldn't even ask questions. But moving on from that. It slightly worries me that when you go and search on that website, it's got such simple security on it. Are you a robot? Are you over 18? But it doesn't do anything to prove either of those things. And it feels to me like when you're hitting those buttons that some information is passing from your browser. So I don't have any planned trips to go to America in the next 3 years, but safe to say, probably not a good idea. And God help us if Reform get hold of the relationship with the NSA and GCHQ and track down all that data. So let's have a look how you're doing. Tracy from Preston. Graeme! Graeme is at a gig. I imagine you can't hear me either. Are we just getting a hello, Graeme? So this is Graeme Hughes out with real human beings, and he can't hear me, and we can't hear him. Possibly we can't hear the music. Fairly certain that Ash would not be over the moon about the fact that we're live streaming their concert, but it looks great. Good seats. Mosh pit. Why is Graeme not in the mosh pit? Why is the mosh pit not nearer the stage? We've got questions. Lots of questions. But I may just leave him sitting there on mute because that audio is not going to be great. Do you think Graeme's talking to us? Because there's absolutely no audio coming through there at all. Yeah. Okay, so I don't really know what to do with that. Guys, what do you want me to do?
Sorry, we can't hear you.
Yeah, we can't hear you either. I said we can't hear you. I'm going to stop that bad audio coming in, basically. Right. Nice to have company. Go. Dance. We're okay. Listen, tell him we're okay. He can read that in the chat because he can't actually hear me. Sarah Davis. Sorry, they only cover the East Midlands at the moment. Just checked. They specialise in helping homeless and in danger. Okay, this is one of those moments where I'm just dropping myself into a conversation that you guys are all having. I'm going to just scroll back through the chat and see what you guys are saying. The muted music avoids you getting a content strike. Yeah, well, that's a very good point. I am going to have to kill it. Unfortunately, I think Graeme is just feeling bad for me in that there's nobody in the chat room. But listen, we're going to be fine. This is not going to go on for long. Bear with me a minute, guys. There. I've booted out Graeme from his own channel because I am fairly certain we can't get away with playing live music and we will get a copyright strike. And we can't hear him and he can't hear us. And that does not make for good live streaming, I don't think. Right. Let's go for your news, shall we? Blue Badger, 1988. On the bright side, my dog is 4 today and she loves her new bed. Hey. Give me some good news to read out. That would be absolutely amazing. Yeah, I didn't mute Graeme. There was just something going on with his microphone there, basically. Pygmalion. He is in the VIP area. He's always in the VIP area for that particular band. You are a shining light. Are you hearing some of the lyrics there? We can't hear you. We can't hear you either. Does no one else find that ironically amusing? Yeah. Mike, the gist of it, I'm being made homeless and can't get help from the council and I can't get a private rental, been turned down 9 times in the last month. Sarah Davis, I am so sorry to read that and thank you for sharing. I don't know if anyone in the chat can help. In any capacity on that. Renting. The rental market at the moment is a nightmare. I'm currently looking for a new housemate. Maybe I'll stick an advert out with you guys. And it appears to be a bit of a nightmare. I've had a number of housemates over the years. Never been a problem getting them. And at the moment, it's really tough. And my landlord is being a bit awkward as well. So... Sarah, I don't know what to suggest to you. It is not the private market is not a market that welcomes people that need help. Have you been to see anybody at the council? I'd guess. Anyone else that's got some genuinely good advice would be useful, basically, for Sarah. I really hope that resolves itself. Ernie Burns, I'm starting a new course to get my SIA back. Bouncering, here I come. What's SIA? Is that security? What does the SIA stand for, Ernie? It's a security qualification, I'd guess. Good luck with that. Reverend Kathy, you're in South Wales. Sorry, Sarah Davis, you're in South Wales. Okay. Well, listen, Sarah, I've got your address. I'll look that up and just see if I know anybody in that area that could talk to you. Let's see. My brother lives in Cardiff and works for the local Labour Party down there, so I don't know. I would go and talk to your councillor and even your MP. It's always a good port of call if you actually need the systems to start working on your behalf, unless you've got a useless MP, which in Wales may or may not be the case, who knows. Hannah, you're on mute.
Oh no, is that better?
Oh my love, do you know what you've just done?
What have I done?
You have just saved this community from having to listen to either me just wombling on for 25 minutes, or Graeme coming in live because I think he's feeling sorry for me, basically, from an Ash concert where we get a copyright strike and we can't hear him, he can't hear us.
No.
And all he's doing is demonstrating that he's out tonight. How are you?
I'm okay. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you fine. I'm sure everybody else can hear you as well. Yep. Hi, Hannah. Hi, Hannah.
Oh, what am I doing? Right. I repel technology and I've literally just got in from work. I've been up in Peterborough today. Glam life.
Nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with Peterborough. It's my home.
Do you know what? Parts of it are really lovely. Like, I'm not so keen on the town centre, but there's some really nice, beautiful little villages and stuff just around it that are really stunning.
My mum lives in a little village just outside. Well, it's being consumed by Peterborough at the moment, basically. But I'll have to introduce you. You could call round for a cup of tea.
That'd be lovely.
No, it wouldn't be lovely. You haven't met my mum. It'd be a nightmare.
No? I think I'm quite good with mums.
Dark 4x440. Thank you for the £20 super chat.
Wait.
That's awesome. Hannah appears. Money starts appearing.
And I've got my hair down.
Hair down and fully made up. Thank you. Yeah,
that's it. I went for the full. I put the lippy on.
Why don't we just pretend that you haven't just got back from work and haven't managed to remove your makeup and sort your hair out, basically, and that you actually got dressed up to come and see us tonight?
I did. That's exactly what happened.
Thanks, Hannah. Yeah, because I put the effort in. Look.
You always look great, to be fair. Even when we met, like, you've got your nice shirt. Like, you always look cool. Do you know what I mean?
Thanks, Hannah. I'm going to take that.
Yeah.
Let me read out Dark 4x440's post. I believe there are two types of people in this world. Those who have a different opinion to yourself but wish you a good life, and those that have a different to yourself but wish for a bigger walloper. Yeah, I think you're probably right. I think there are some people in life that try and help, and there are some people in life that wish you worse when you're down, basically. And I don't think anybody in this room qualifies for that. So, what have you been up to this week?
So I'm doing my very old lady habits, and I'm getting ahead on the growing season because I have a gardening problem. But it makes me happy. It brings joy. The garden always gives you something back. It's good for my mental health. As someone that had a breakdown a few years ago, so all of this stuff is really good. And even though it's miserable, there's so much you can do in February. So much.
Come on, tell us, because we've been talking a little bit about Pam Bondi and the mess of the Epstein files, and the fact that I've got a number of friends that have talked to me recently just saying it's too much, they can't cope. Right. So let's talk about gardening.
Yeah, let's do a little bit of gardening. So
what have you been doing this week in the garden?
So I'm getting ahead on some of my seeds. So now, there's still a risk of frost until about late April, early May in most parts of the UK. So you don't want to be putting your non-frost hardy plants outside, but you can start growing seeds on windowsills, which is very exciting, and particularly exciting for someone like me so I'm a plant bitch, okay? I love a house plant, and I like a heart-shaped leaf. I like a dark green. I'm not really a flower girly. What's
the plant in the background? What's that behind you there?
This is I don't know actually, because this is actually my boyfriend's plant. And when his place wasn't big enough, he was like, "Please look after it for me." And I thought, "You've had that 20 years. That's terrifying that I'm now responsible for it. Because if I kill one of mine, it's fine." So I actually don't know what that is, but I've got a lot of things like pothos and blue star ferns and anything with a knife, veiny leaf looking type thing.
Scott, look at Scott's face. Evening, Scott. You're on mute, Scott. I believe Scott's been decorating, so we could have a gardening and decorating show tonight, everybody. Can I just take the opportunity while Scott just appears? We've had another couple of super chats. So Tim Ballum 3675, thank you for the £5. I can't set a goal because Graeme won't give me full control over the channel because he's worried it will turn into a gardening and decorating channel. Or somebody bleating about the health service every day. So when we get to a certain number that I'll try and keep a track of, there will be confetti, Diz, don't worry. Hi,
Yay.
Scott. Let me just read out Tim Ballan's post. So how many of the UK's kids, women warriors are speaking out against Epstein? Where is Tommy 10 names, JK, etc., and Farage and the lot of them? Yeah, well, good point.
Quiet,
Tim.
aren't they? They're very quiet, noticeably quiet.
You can only assume that the way that the stories are dripping out at the moment, bit by bit, the way that journalists are starting to dig into their own, trails. I was just saying that earlier on that there's a story today that Prince Andrew was trying to arrange a meeting for Epstein with Gaddafi, and there's an email trail that shows you that. But you can only imagine that at some point in time, some are going to come out. Steve Bannon is all over those files.
Oh my God, that does not surprise me one bit. Just look at him. I'm sorry.
No. So some of them, aren't they? You see a photo of some of the people that they go, this guy's in the Epstein files. You go, yeah, obviously, basically. I didn't need to look through the files. Like, just show me a photo of him and I'll go, yep, that one, he's definitely in there. Scott, you're decorating this week.
Today, yeah.
Have you?
Yeah, I've been signed off.
Oh.
I've been signed off work.
You were talking a bit about that last week.
Yeah. Yeah. So I called the doctor and they signed me off. I went to work on Monday. I ended up leaving at about 12 o'clock. And I've been off since, really. And I needed something to do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because that was the thing that was like stopping me from taking time off. Because I just don't want to dwell. I'm just going to dwell on my own depression and my own shit, and it'll just be crap, and I'll just sit around, do nothing, just watch TV in bed. So I said, okay, well, I know what I'll do this week. I will repaint my bedroom. Now, as you can see behind me,
I'm noticing that
it's a little darker than I was led to believe.
I was going to say I'm no psychiatrist, but if you're having mental health issues, painting the walls black might not be top of the list.
One would say that, right? Yeah, it was a color. It's a color called Rebel.
I mean, and you are, so that's
always have been.
Scott, can you tip your phone to landscape? Will that work? Yeah, that's better. Thank you.
So I might get my little stick out. my little
not that kind of show, Scott. We don't need the money that badly.
Sorry. So what was I saying? So yeah, it was called Rebel, right? So I was like, oh, okay, cool, and it looked like it's a nice dark gray.
Oh, yeah, because I couldn't tell, because I was like, is it grey or is it like a really deep green?
It's a deep grey is what it is.
Do you know what, Scott? I like that.
Like
I do too, actually. I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah, no, I think because you have some really lovely posters and things as well, don't you? Prints.
Yeah, I've got some stuff that I can put up on the walls. So if I put the stuff up on the walls and my little lights and, and all that going on, the doors are going to be painted white tomorrow. So I'm not going to paint them black because I wouldn't know how to get out again.
It's like the black walls, the completely black outfit, the black door. Basically. There'll just be this head floating around in the dark.
To leave, you must go through the black door.
Can I just very quickly, because we've had a couple of super chats since you guys have appeared, and they both mention you. So Darian De Star, who is always a star, £30, thank you so much.
Wow!
So that Mike and Hannah can buy themselves a moderately priced cocktail next time they meet up.
Oh.
Interview, thank you so much.
Darian, I don't mean to decry it, but I live in Brighton. A £30 cocktail is that's.
Well, you'll get you two.
That's living it cheap. I'm not sure we'll get two. Maybe one with two straws.
Maybe one with two straws. I am going to be in Brighton tomorrow, actually. Funnily enough. Tomorrow
Really?
in the evening. I think I'm going to get there sort of like early on. I've discovered where my boyfriend lives.
Come and see me when he kicks you out.
Yeah.
Are you surprising him?
No. I'm not surprising him. He knows.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Promise.
that's
I'm
lovely.
not.
If you get a chance to knock on the door, do so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Darian, to start, another £20 since Scott appeared, because Scott, the reason that the cocktails for Hannah and I, as you weren't in the room when he gave that super chat, so that Scott can get himself a jigsaw and a colour chart. Very sweet, Darian. Thank you very much.
Listen,
this is day one of you taking time off from work to.
No, it's week one. But like, yeah. Like I've been off since Monday. So yeah, and I did research. I ordered it online. Like I went to Wix online and I ordered it. And I was, like I said, I got the, I saw the color on the website. So I was like, oh, that's not black. It's a dark gray. That looks really good. Let's do something completely different, right? And when it got here, like it's got the little label on it with the color and the name on the can. I looked at that label and I went, that label is black. That label is black. This website lied to me. And I bought 2 fucking cans.
But you've been painting it today, yeah?
Yeah. So I started.
I think that's going to dry a bit lighter tomorrow.
Yeah, it will.
I hope so. Yeah. But there's another coat that's gonna go on, obviously. And I did the ceiling.
You did like a full color drench. Oh,
yeah. So like I did the ceiling white.
Nice.
And yeah, so like tomorrow it'll be the second coat and the skirting boards and the doors.
Nice.
And they're going to be brilliant white.
Yeah.
We just got $2 Australian from Arlecchino to buy Scott a paintbrush. How much do paintbrushes cost in Australia? That's amazing.
Fucking hell. And also, like, do you think I need one?
A bit late. Yeah.
Yeah. I prefer a roller myself.
I got some. I got some rollers, too, so I didn't have to do this all by hand,
It's amazing,
but yeah.
man. Hannah's going for a super chat here, I think, guys. I'm fairly certain.
Yeah, don't get too excited. I dressed like a teenage boy in the world's giantest t-shirts and sweatshirt, as you know, actually, because I turned up in trackies to yours.
Yes, but you always look amazing in everything, basically. So what can you do?
This is such bullshit now. You've met everyone except me.
I know. We will. I'll come and see you soon. Because I'll be...
Ironically as well, Scott.
Huh?
Ironically, apart from Aid, I think you live the closest to me.
No, Hannah lives closer to you.
Well, kind of, but it's a bit awkward on the trains, isn't it? That was not a short journey for you.
Yeah,
for those of you in the chat that don't know, Hannah turned up by surprise with Graeme. I knew Graeme was coming, and I was dreading it, obviously. And then he stood there smirking at my door, and Hannah stepped from the side and went hello. And I thought, this is going to be a pleasant visit all of a sudden. This is nice, basically. But the pair of them the two of you literally turned up for a cup of tea from miles and miles away, and I really appreciate it. It was nice.
We had a lovely time, and it was chucking it down though. And I thought, I left the house and I thought,
not fucking raining for
weeks.
weeks.
Nice at mine. I won't bother bringing an umbrella. It'll be fine. And then I turned up looking like a drowned rat. We both did. Graeme was like, "You're all right to walk in this," and I was like, "Just keep walking."
Just go. Yeah.
And did he offer you his hat? No, obviously.
No, of course he didn't.
No. Tim Ballon, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. Scott should have brought a decent CRI display.
What's that?
Maybe, a CRI must be a TV.
I have a TV. Right there.
Yeah, I think he's shaming your TV choice. Yeah. Lost
How
Missionary
fucking
says.
rude! It's LGTV.
Lost
Why?
Missionary is suggesting that maybe you should put your Apple Watch on the wall and watch videos on that. Maybe.
It's here somewhere under plastic, so
It's got to have some use. So Hannah, Scott, when you turned up, Hannah was telling us about her gardening this week. February gardening tips from Hannah.
Yeah.
All right,
There's so many seeds you can plant, and it just makes me happy because I think I'm going to have flowers before everyone else because I'm growing them in my conservatory. I'm very lucky that I have a conservatory. I kind of used it as somewhere because I was like, I rent somewhere, so I didn't want to put like my shit in the loft because you put that up there, it's gone until you move again and just keep moving with it. So I sort of like used my conservatory as a bit of a like, and it's just a very small conservatory. I was like, if I put my boxes here, and then got all my seedlings on top of my boxes that I have never sorted out, and I've been here 18 months. So it's quite good though, because it's like, it's not frosty in there, it's not too hot, there is a little radiator in there, and they can all be happy and germinate a little bit early. So I've got onions on the go. You normally grow them from sets. Now a set of onions is like a baby onion, like a really tiny onion. But you can grow them from seeds. So I've got onions on the go. I've also got dahlias. Dahlias is a very interesting one because normally you grow dahlias from tubers, which are like big little clumps of tiny little like potato looking things. And then you know exactly what you're getting because you buy a tuber and it's one particular plant. But if you do it from seed, you don't know what kind of flower you're going to get because their genetics are so weird. Every time you sow a seed and it germinates, it's a completely different new flower that's never been seen before. How cool is that?
I mean, it sounds incredibly cool. What's a dahlia look like?
Let me see. Oh, I've got a seed packet literally right over there. Let me show you.
So, Scott, Tim Ballon is, thank you for the £2, Tim, is saying a colour rendering index, which doesn't leave me any clearer as to what a CRI is.
What's wrong with the black? It's gonna look really fucking smart. It is.
I think it is. Really I think it is. It's. I think what you need, if Hannah's going to show us it now, is a couple of dahlias in the corner there, just to bring a bit of colour. There you go.
This is what a dahlia looks like. So this is, you get different kinds. So this is like a sort of quite a classic one. Like some of them are quite round. They're called pom-pom dahlias, but you get what they're called as like big dinner plate dahlias that are the size of a dinner plate. So you get these massive blooms on some of them, which is really cool. And they're cut and come again flowers. So you chop them and they keep producing flowers.
They look amazing. They look like Lego flowers.
Yeah, so I've gone from like pinks and purples, which is very girly for me because I wear a lot of black.
Well, you'd fit well in Scott's
Come to the black room.
Trouble is, by the time this is when Scott gets to meet you, and he won't be able to find you in the room.
Yeah, in the room of black.
Exactly. I normally do dress all in black, or I'm in my Metallica t-shirt, of course.
God. Oh God, I'm so tired. You have no idea.
Painting is exhausting. How long has it taken you to do? Did you say you've done 2 coats today?
No, I've only done the 1 coat, but I did 2 coats on the ceiling.
The ceiling is horrible because it kills your shoulders, and you get the paint splatter on your face the whole time.
Yeah, I've got a good glasses clean coming up. Yeah, and it was actually kind of funny because I still had my driving test today. Not test. I had my driving lesson today, and specs on my fucking glasses. So, and it poured. Oh my God, it poured during my lesson. It was fucking horrible. And we were doing roundabouts.
I hate roundabouts. I also just had a roundabout lesson and I fucking hated every second of it. Not because I can't work a roundabout, because other people can't. They don't indicate, they're in the wrong lane.
Do you know what my problem was? My right and left. Because when you do your left, I was going straight ahead, so obviously you don't indicate until you pass the first
exit, yeah.
And then you have to go left, and then I think I indicated right on accident, but yet kept going straight. And my teacher was like, "No, you cannot do this." I was like, "Listen, yeah, give me a fucking moment, like figure this out." Like,
it's very stressful.
It can be because he goes, "Oh, but this is very dangerous." I'm like, I get that, yeah. But you want me to look in the mirrors. You want me to drive straight ahead. You want me to indicate left after the first exit, and you want me to do this at a decent speed. Okay,
get
off my ass.
Scott,
Let me do it.
talking of mirrors, Dark 4x440 has given us a super chat for £5, saying, Scott, how about some shattered mirror glass sealed in epoxy resin just to really confuse any guests that enter your flat?
Well, I could just put like loads of mirrors up anyway and just have like a mirrored room. And then you would just be, and then like there'd be, well, there'd be thousands of you then, right? Just constantly, like, yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm telling everybody, trust me on this, guys. I've thought about this, and I know it did come out a little darker than I originally planned, but it's gonna look fucking smart. It really is, and I really feel like once the doors are done, and like I said, I've got my lights, my posters, and all the bits and pieces together. It's gonna, like, my bedroom's gonna look lovely. Like, it's gonna look cool.
Yeah, I think you're right, man. I like it. It looks good.
Yeah. So everyone can take the piss out of like me not knowing anything about color.
You need one of these in there,
Scott. You know what? Totally. Yeah, you're right. I do. The one thing I want to get rid of is this fucking thing. I hate it so fucking much. It's a light. The light
God,
fixture.
Right. Yeah,
I hate it.
Ceiling lights
like I want to get
pretty horrible, aren't they?
You need
you can't. I can't. Ugh. They hang, right? I can't get it to go up inside of it or anything. We have tried to take this fucking thing off. It is stuck there for life. And I just want someone to come in here with a fucking sledgehammer and just smash this fucking thing down. And I want to put up.
Not now you're painted. That's terrible.
Yeah, I want to put up like one of those like sort of like flat sort of like. Well, I mean, my dream, if my ceiling was tall enough, I'd have a ceiling fan. Like that's a dream for me. I love ceiling fans. I know people might think, but you pull that face Hannah, right? Some of them are really cool looking these days. Yeah. Like they don't look like these old fashioned 70s ones.
My sons, they brought a flat last year in Madrid. And they did a load of work to it because it wants to be their forever home. And they've put ceiling fans with lights in every room.
Awesome.
And they're all controlled with remotes. So my little grandson just goes around setting off all the fans and putting on different coloured lights.
That's right.
And stuff like that.
Oh, you know what
they are cool. They look like great big wooden Spitfire propellers.
Yeah,
they're kind of beautiful.
Really cool now.
They do look really beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. When I went to Spain in December, my friend has got that house so jerry rigged up with Siri and all and whatever. Like you cannot turn a light on or off in a conventional way. You just can't, because he has done it so that it's all timed, and he's the only one that can turn things on and off.
That's it.
Yeah, and I was like,
it's pretty much how my house works now as well.
Really, I was like,
anything basically.
Can I turn this fucking lamp off, please? And he's like, you have to unplug it. I was like, are you fucking serious? I've got to unplug it. This is crazy. It's a lamp.
Let me, Scott. Can I just get you to go landscape again, just for the. Yeah, thanks, man. I feel like we ought to do a little bit of politics tonight. While I've got Hannah in particular.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's like boring.
I know, but it's called politics social. We've got to do a little bit of
social. Fuck that.
I just want to, Hannah, I'd just like to get your view really on. I've seen a lot of interviews with victims this week. And I think just as a statement to kick this off, just an incredible amount of bravery and camaraderie in that group. Women that have spent 20, 30 years in some cases basically living with the nightmare of this. And now they all seem to have found each other and therefore a support network. And I just wondered what how you're seeing this week basically and how it's playing out. Whether you think anything's being done as a result of any of this basically.
To be honest, I had until the last few days, I had kind of avoided looking at anything, particularly Pam Bondi, because every time I see that fucking bitch on my phone, I physically want to throw my phone away from me, because I think she's a deplorable, despicable, disgusting excuse of a human being. I can say that for half of the people in power, obviously, but particularly she makes me viscerally angry. Particularly when I've obviously seen a lot of the things going on this week, and the way that she was speaking about the victims. Or I believe also, I think it's important, because I do the same, I say victims, but I've noticed that the language has changed. Survivors, yeah. And I think it's just force of habit, isn't it? Because they're a victim of a crime, and therefore that's what goes in your brain. But in order to sort of empower them further, like, we should probably try to do the survivor thing also. Like, I think the language is important there. But
absolutely,
it's nice seeing women come together, but it's awful that it's over this. And it also pisses me off to high hell that it took a dead man's fucking emails for anyone to believe that this was true. Oh, now we've seen it, and he's gone it, like, now we're going through his stuff, that's fine. But what those hundreds of girls were saying before, I have such feminine rage at the moment. I can hardly even contain it and have a calm conversation with people. Even I was talking to my boyfriend the other day. He was like, I think we need to take a break because you're getting really worked up. And I was like, you're fucking right, I am. It's that kind of visceral reaction that I'm having, because I don't think anything is being done about it. I mean, the only person to my knowledge that, apart from Epstein, who
is Maxwell,
hung himself, is Maxwell, who's also a woman. Why is it only the woman that's in prison? And then you've got Mandelson, who's been fired again, by the way, because he has been in politics multiple decades at this point, in case no one else is aware. This is not the first scandal he's had. So let's go back and make sure Keir Starmer's not making shitty decisions. You should have probably thought about that. And then we've got things like Pam Bondi and Andrew. Prince Andrew. I mean, are we calling him Prince Andrew anymore? Hasn't he had that?
Well, we've had a bit of a debate on that, and personally, I think we should still call him Prince Andrew. He's still the king's brother. He's still the queen's son. And it's
no, he's crown stripped.
But fuck it. He represents the royal family, and I don't think they can separate themselves.
Well, no, because wait a minute. I'm no royalist by any stretch of the imagination, but I think to lump the whole royal family into whatever Andrew Mount Block, whatever the fuck his name is,
Mountbatten Windsor.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you look at it that way, I can see what you're saying. But Keir Starmer is currently under pressure as the Prime Minister for being attached to somebody that was attached to Epstein.
Isn't that fucked up? Isn't it fucked up, right?
Yeah.
But
the king and the Queen before him all covered up Andrew's crimes, and they paid £12 million of our money.
Oh no! Oh, totally. I get that. Yeah. I complained about this on stateside, right? Yeah. No, I totally understand. I totally understand where you're coming from. My point is, right, this whole thing, like, Keir Starmer has associated himself with someone who associated himself with... Fucking Trump was friends with the fucking guy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, we're looking at the wrong fucking person here. Like, Keir Starmer. No, guys, Donald Trump. Like... Yeah.
It is interesting to me that the bulk of this stuff is happening in the US, and yet we appear to have been holding people more accountable here than they are.
Yes, it's crazy.
Well, I think we appear to be is probably the key.
I use those words.
Just before we carry on, Talking Mardia has just given us £5. Thank you very much for that. I'm sure we're almost at Confetti. I'm going to ask Diz to actually keep an eye on that and tell me when I should trigger it, basically, and then I'll probably crash the whole podcast when we do that. But Talking Mardia, a man was in prison and was murdered. How come Maxwell is still alive? Female privilege. Oh, well, it's an interesting take.
Interesting take.
Yeah.
That bitch stood up in front of the whole of Congress and just went, I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth.
And also, everything we're reading in there tells us that she was a particularly monstrous human being, basically.
Yeah, she did. Fuck you, bitch. Go back to rot your fucking self. Fuck off. What you're gonna do? Fuck off, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to take away from Epstein's primary crimes and being primary in the middle of it, but she was a massive enabler, and 3 of the people that should be listed as co-conspirators are females as well. And I don't think this is necessarily I think gender is obviously part of this. I think these men, as a friend of mine said, have just got away with treating women as non-humans, as subhuman, basically, and perpetrated that amongst themselves. But I also think when you read, the more and more you read in there, that his modus operandi and Ghislaine's modus operandi was essentially to target vulnerable, broken, and poor women.
Yeah.
And offer, I saw an interview with 2 survivors where one of them said, I think the interviewer said to them, Mandelson described Epstein as a charming and charismatic person. And she said, "What did you think of him?" And they said, "Yes, that's what I thought." And then I thought he was a fucking monster. And their game was to pluck these young people out of poverty or big problems that they'd got in their lives, and offer them small things that made them feel better about themselves, basically, and then entrap them into a system that was a sex trafficking fucking nightmare for them. And
it's very Ted Bundy, isn't it? Like, we've heard that about him. He was supposedly an extremely charismatic, good talker, very friendly, very attractive.
Yeah. I think it's the interesting thing about the Keir Starmer debate, because you cannot imagine, whatever we think of Keir Starmer, you cannot imagine anybody that would be further away from the Epstein files than Keir Starmer. He wouldn't get an invite, and he wouldn't go if he got one, basically.
No.
He would probably report it to the police. He's that kind of guy. I genuinely do think he's got a level of integrity on that front. But the argument against Keir Starmer in the public conversation is that he's not charismatic.
He's not.
Right?
I don't want Boris fucking Johnson again.
Yeah, we don't want a Boris Johnson.
Rishi Sunak is professionalist. That is a right-wing talking point as far as I'm concerned. I don't want a fucking character, I want someone who's going to run the fucking country, and do the shit that they promised that they're going to fucking do. I don't want a comedian, I want a politician, a fucking head of the country that's going to do as they fucking say they're going to do, right? Not some dickhead who's going to get up and tell fucking jokes. I don't care. I don't want your fucking jokes, bro.
No, you're right. And I think that then comes down to this Starmer problem and the debate that is going on around him at the moment, basically, which is, well, he probably is the right guy to do that. But the problem is he stood on a ticket of, I am not like them. I'm not corrupt.
So why are we complaining that he's not like that?
Yeah, but hang on, I'm not corrupt and I'm competent. And the problem is that as soon as anything, that was pretty much their election ticket. I'm not corrupt and I am competent. And then the problem is that's what we're going to judge them by. So any whiff of corruption near them, look at Angela Rayner, look at the glasses and suits and the Taylor Swift tickets, that comes to hit him really hard as Prince Andrew fucking arranging meetings with Colonel Gaddafi in order to have sex with 12-year-olds, basically. In the public imagination, those stories seem to equate with each other. They don't. They blatantly don't. But that's the problem that I think he's facing at the moment. And it's because, if we took it away from the awful scandal, you'd say, well, Starmer should have had a better narrative that he could fall back on and be judged by. It should have been here's my dream for a good, clean Britain that works.
Look at the goddamn bullshit that Priti Patel pulled during the Theresa May years. Look at the fucking all the shit that Boris Johnson pulled. That was all okay. It was all just fine. This is the problem. Again,
exactly.
And another thing we brought up on stateside as well. The left, we have to be squeaky fucking clean, or we're fucking shit. We're horrible. If we're not. It's something. But when right wingers do shit, we kind of expect that because they're all fucking. But pardon my language. So it's a joke.
I think you're right,
Go
and I think, Hannah, I think that's part of the societal problem that's now coming up, where we've really got to evaluate the level of equality that women actually have in society, basically. Because I think the people that Scott's talking about here, we all knew Boris was a philandering. He'd had multiple affairs
Moron.
and
I was going to
divorces
say, how many
before he was
children
elected.
does he have with how many women? Yeah.
He doesn't know how many fucking children he has. He doesn't know. You can ask him. Wikipedia literally says 10 to 11. No one knows.
What was the former Prince Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, whatever his German name is, basically? What was his nickname for 20, 30 years? Randy Andy. Everybody treated it as this guy that's what he does. He's a playboy. Donald Trump was permanently described as a playboy. Epstein was permanently described as a playboy. There's a number of women I see being interviewed on American TV saying, well, all these things happened in the 90s and that's what happened with playboys. Like, as if it's some excuse, as if it's just some way to live.
Yeah, it's okay.
It was a news anchor in the US this week, the blonde lady, I can't remember her name, but I fucking hate her. And she was saying that basically there's a difference between like barely legal.
Laura Ingraham, I think, wasn't it?
Thank you. She's
I think
no, it wasn't. It was what's the other one? The one that was she used to be at Fox and
it's that blonde. I can't think of her name, and I saw something today. I don't know. Was she like slightly apologising? She was like, "Oh, I didn't realise it was 9-year-olds. 9 and 15, 9 and 14. They're all fucking children."
Yeah, no, it was a couple of months ago as well, before the latest release of the Epstein files, that she said that. And she was literally trying to spin it as saying, well, he seemed to have a proclivity for
younger looking,
nearly legal, barely legal. I think she used the phrase barely legal.
Barely legal means illegal.
Yeah.
Like it's not like young teen women, it's children. It's not let's kick out these young women. That's not what they're children.
Yeah.
They're actual.
Let me just do a couple of super chats, guys, before we carry on. I'm sorry, but Miss Paula Thomas, thank you so much. £20. Saw an interview with Natalie Fleet MP earlier on the Newsagents. Well worth a view for two reasons. One, she's a future star, and two, she talked about being groomed and left as a single mum at the age of 15. Painful interview, but so glad I watched. That's got to be well worth a watch.
I've added that to my downloads, and I was researching more of the Pam Bondi stuff before I came on this evening. But that's on my watch list because I'm quite a big fan of the Newsagents. If you're looking for, I'm sure a lot of our followers do watch those things, but there's a US Newsagents as well. There's all sorts.
I like. There's a crime agents as well, and Lewis Goodall did an episode with the crime agents today.
That's also on my list. I've got a load of stuff to catch up on. I am a big fan of John Sopel, Emily Maitlis. I think there's some good journalism.
I am Maitlis's biggest fan, and I think if you think about it, Maitlis at the moment is the only one that's really coming out well. From the whole Epstein file thing, because that interview is the basis of really what started here, and now the BBC did a news piece today about BBC Verify, who are doing a very good job, and Channel 4's team are doing a very good job of going through these files. But BBC Verify did a thing on Andrew, which was, here's all the lies he told in that Newsnight interview.
Wow.
And here's all the evidence that we've now got that he was lying and lying and lying and lying. And, I think Maitlis will be she's already had 2 drama versions made of it, hasn't she, basically?
Yeah.
So, was it Meryl Streep played? No, it was the, I'm so bad at names, but it was the X-Files. Gillian
McKeith? No.
Gillian Anderson.
Gillian Anderson.
Anderson. Yeah. Why am I thinking?
The poo doctor.
Oh my
Gillian
God.
McKeith, I'm not sure.
Jesus Christ.
She's the poo doctor.
She's the poo doctor.
Yeah, the poo doctor played her in a Netflix drama. Yeah, it was very good.
Gillian.
Meryl Streep played
She basically
McKeith
sat there and looked.
Poo doctor.
Yeah, Timmy Mallet was playing Prince Andrew, and
God.
We got one more. We got another super chat. £5 from Dark 4x440. Sorry, Scott. You'll find jokes in this chat. I'm not looking to run the country, though. Hope you're okay.
Huh? What do you mean?
Yeah, Dark by 440. I don't think Scott's reading the chat, so it's fine. Don't worry about it.
I'm not. Sorry, I don't. It's not that. Yeah, that's
But
not.
thank you for the £5. It's very much.
Yeah, of course. Always. Thank you for the money, Bennett.
I do think Gillian McKeith and Timmy Mallet in a reenactment. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
So where does it go next? What do we do?
I think at some point Trump will die, and I think it will be like a bigger than Savile thing, and I think that will be his comeuppance. He'll just be dead. I don't think anything is going to happen. I know that's a really depressing thought, but that's genuinely how I feel. I think the people that could make a difference are in power. I know sort of their various elections and bits and pieces that are going on now are looking good for the Dems. I'm not all over that as I should be, but I know that there's sort of hope there. However, I genuinely feel like fuck all is going to happen. I do. I mean, even Andrew, like, what's happened to him? Oh, he's been put in an even smaller fuck off massive house.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, this is why I still think we should make sure he's still connected to the royal family. You know, Prince William this week went to visit MBS in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Right, and it turns out MBS is all over the Epstein files. So that was, you know, and what do they do? Just before his trip, him and Catherine issue a press release. Can I just acknowledge the people that are saying that there's a lot of feeling towards Mateless, that she's a transphobe. Totally acknowledge that there are problems there.
I wasn't aware of that, but
I wasn't aware of that.
Absolutely look into.
Yeah.
I thought she was the opposite. But,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a couple of stories about that she actually covered stories that were not at all not at all unbiased in their reporting, basically.
Oh.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, you know, going back to Andrew not going to suffer, Trump not going to suffer. I think, if anything, if the Democrats do manage to get some control over government, I think a lot of the people that have been protecting the people on the Epstein list may suffer. I think Bondi may well suffer for their actions.
Yeah.
And I think we go back to the comments that, you know, probably a lot of the women that are involved in this basically will more than likely get punished.
It will be sacrificial lambs, because as far as I can see, that government is a bit of a boys' club.
Yeah.
Well, there's a quote from an anonymous White House staffer this week who said that, look, if we prosecuted everybody in the Epstein files who's in the Trump government, we'd get rid of 75% of the Trump government.
Yeah.
Right.
Said that
And the thing is, it is so obvious that what Trump has done is essentially surround himself by people that are just tainted by the same filth. And they're now in a club of protecting each other. And Pam Bondi, you know, she's very litigious, and so is Trump, but we don't give a shit on this channel, do we? It's Graham's channel anyway. We're just a mouthpiece for Graeme. Graeme Hughes. I'll put his address in the chat. But Pam Bondi was the Attorney General in Florida when all this was going on. Right, so she was, you know, Donald Trump's favourite prosecutor, and there has to be a reason why Donald Trump likes any prosecutor and then promotes her into the DOJ. She famously took money from Donald Trump for her campaign to be elected as the AG and in Florida, and then completely dropped a bunch of charges that were kicking around. So
funny that.
Yeah. You know,
What a surprise.
I don't think there's anybody in his organisation at the moment that isn't coming out. Dr. What's the name of the weird? Is it Dr. Oz? Today, it's turned out he's in there, basically.
That also doesn't surprise me. He's
Who?
a fucking weirdo for years. Creepy weirdo.
Who?
Can you imagine being Cash
Dr.
Patel,
Oz.
though?
Who's he?
Oh, it's a nightmare Republican candidate. I can't remember where he stood, basically, but he is also one of these TV doctors.
Oh,
Who's not a qualified doctor.
The whole show, and it's all, bearing in mind he is actually a doctor. There was an awful
Do you
lot.
mean Dr. Phil?
I mean,
Dr. Phil.
Dr. Oz is in there, but Dr. Phil is also in there. Yeah, you're right.
which also doesn't surprise me again. And I used to watch Dr. Phil, and I used to think, oh, I love Dr. Phil. And then I grew up a little bit, and I did some research, and I was like, oh,
Dr. Phil's a prick.
yeah, yeah. There we go.
I've always feared him. I thought he was sanctimonious prick.
I'm kind of one of the bits of this. Not that there are things that we should be looking to enjoy, but Kash Patel is somebody, the head of the FBI, basically, who was a podcaster.
No qualifications to be head of the FBI at
No,
all.
I don't have any qualifications to do any of the jobs they're doing.
Yeah. And he was all over the Epstein files in his podcast, all over it. There are so many videos of him talking about release the Epstein files because there's a pedo cabal running the world. And now, well, this is the reason he was appointed. This is the reason he was appointed. It's because you bring him in, you tell him some secrets, and then you say, and if you share any of them, you are fucked.
We'll kill you.
And then what do? Then he miraculously ends up with a rather beautiful, much younger girlfriend, basically, who's a country and western singer. And potentially a lot of rumours that she's a Mossad agent.
What?
Hey, listen, I've been going down a bunch of rabbit holes this week. I'm effectively queuing on at the moment. Let me give you two things in the Epstein files that have been found this week that you just start to wonder whether I'm going to buy a AK-47 and walk into a pizza restaurant around the corner, right? Just before the FBI investigation started on him, 2 days before, he had 330 litres of sulfuric acid delivered to the island. 6 barrels of sulfuric acid.
Well, bodies.
What do you use sulfuric? Right. So I'll give you the legitimate answer, which is not the legitimate answer, but the answer that's being given by his defenders is that there was some water filtration system that used sulfuric acid on the island.
Bullshit.
I think so. So what else do you use sulfuric acid for?
Well, as a true crime girly, I can tell you what that would do to flesh and bone. That would be my fucking answer.
And it's like, if it were QAnon, you would sit there and go, oh, come on, don't be fucking stupid. But there are receipts, there are emails talking about it. It was delivered 2 days after the FBI investigation started, which was publicly known. That island had if you look at the pictures of his house on the island, it has a trap door in one of the rooms, which you open it up and it goes straight down to the ocean. There's a cave underneath the island, basically. Most of the rooms downstairs all look like clinical rooms.
Yeah.
There are some horrific stories, and I don't want to ruin anybody's Friday night by sharing any of them, basically. But there are some of the Congress people that are coming out from the unredacted files at the moment are talking about some of the most horrific things they have ever heard of and seen in their lives. And again, we're only scratching the surface because Channel 4 was saying today that they, by their assessment, when they say that the 3 million documents that have been released represent 50%.
Yeah.
That's what the DOJ are saying. Channel 4's assessment is that they represent 2%.
I was going to say. I think
the video and audio content, none of that really is being released. Small snippets of it.
It's 10 times. It's 1,000 times worse than we can ever imagine, because it's not just like a normal paedophile ring. It's not just a normal immigrant grooming gang. This is the people with the most power in over multiple countries internationally, and with the most money over that group, all buddying up and all being part of something, and that makes it 1,000 times more dangerous because they have the ability, the power, the resources to cover whatever the fuck they want up because the people that would hold them responsible are their friends.
Yeah, yeah.
And that is...
you know, Peter Thiel, who runs Palantir, who is one of the most objectionable human beings, even if he wasn't in the fucking Epstein files, is all over the Epstein files. And a lot of what he's been... I mean... He was the one that had a conversation with Epstein about starting 4chan and doing the QAnon stuff. The whole QAnon thing appears to have been created in order to create a smoke screen for what they were doing, almost to sort of cushion the blow if they ever all got found out, so that they could turn around and say, oh yeah, well, everybody's in a paedophile ring, the Democrats have got theirs and we've got ours, basically. That's almost what they're trying to do. And somebody was telling me today, you know, that it feels like they're trying to, I think it was somebody in the chat, Dave Bailey, that was saying that, you know, there's a process involved in this, which is by releasing it in this way so that it drips out over months and months, that we'll all get bored with it. We'll all get horrified by it and won't want to see it anymore, but we will become numb to it to some extent. And then when the pictures of Trump come out and he says they're all AI, we're all going to turn around and go, yeah, of course. Didn't we see that weeks ago, months ago? Yeah. Somebody said to me today, well, Prince Andrew's being locked up, isn't he, basically? And he goes, where the fuck have you heard that? Basically, well, the police are investigating him.
Oh, sir.
And I ask you this, right? You know, there's footage of two coppers knocking on the Wiltshire or Gloucestershire door, I can't remember where his home is, of Peter Mandelson, politely knocking on the door. There's King Charles saying, our thoughts are with the survivors. Well, he doesn't, he says victims. But our thoughts are with the victims, and if deemed necessary, the Royal House will collaborate with the police on this. And you go, yes, you fucking will. Basically, if there's crimes been committed, you don't have a freaking choice. That's like me saying, I've robbed a bank, and I'm perfectly happy to talk to the police about it if they deem it necessary. Basically, it's these people are. Even when their crimes are exposed to the entire world and all over the media for a whole week, these people are treated differently to somebody that nicks a packet of fucking soap powder from the
fucking
co-op. You know?
painful.
Dark 4x440, thank you so much for the many super chats. Diz, I can't see it in the chat, but I'm fairly certain we're close to Confetti. I'm just going to choose a slightly lighter moment to fire it at some point in time. But thank you for the £5. How about everyone that owns an island should be forced to live on that island? I've still 70 characters. We'll visit you if we want. Bumblebee.
Well, you know who would have to do that, right?
Graeme.
Yeah.
He's now a resident of Panama. So
is he officially?
Finally.
I think the more you look at it, while he's not on the show, if you started to do a list of the things that we know about Graeme, right? He's been on the run around the world, running between every country in the world at some time or another, basically. He managed to acquire an island off the coast of Panama. I'm not saying Panama Papers, let's just remember that scandal that never really got resolved because it was so complicated as well. And he brought himself a private island, just like Mr. Epstein. I'm not accusing Graeme of anything. I'm just saying there are some parallels. And on that bombshell, Ernie Burns, thank you very much for the £2. That is a CIA tech called the Limited Hangout. I might need a bit more explanation on that one. I'm not sure what we're alluding to there, basically, but have I missed one? Reverend Kathy, thank you for the £5. There's a reason these people think they're going to live forever. Plenty of mythology around a diet for eternal youth. I think they do. I mean, Peter Thiel's reason for existence is to try and live forever. And you just think, why? You look so bored and sad with life. Why do you want to live forever?
It's so true.
Sorry.
Shiny-faced arsehole is a nightmare.
Shiny-faced arsehole. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Peter Thiel is the real Bond villain in all of this. he's a guy. I don't know how many people know much about him, basically, but I'm finding out more
Give
and
us
more.
a rundown. Give us a basic rundown for the people
Well,
that don't.
essentially, so he's always been a right-wing libertarian, right? He was very unpopular at college. He tried a couple of careers to get rich and couldn't do them, and then he managed to get into the early stages of Bitcoin and crypto and stuff. And he's now built an organization called Palantir. And Palantir, who just signed a £24 billion contract with the NHS. But if you even just go and look at Palantir's website, it is a global surveillance company that claims to be able to scour social media to find out what your population are thinking. It claims to be able to run prisons, to be able to run social media activities for governments and espionage and military purposes. Right? It's overt and in your face what they're doing.
Yeah.
And we have just signed over all of our medical data to this organisation. And Peter Thiel does, as a sideline, does speeches about the coming of the Antichrist. He firmly believes that the Antichrist has been born and exists around us, basically. When asked whether he thought AI was a threat to humanity, he paused for nearly a minute in an interview before saying, probably.
A whole minute, nearly a whole minute. Do you know how, I'm sorry though, even if we were to sit here for 10 seconds in utter silence, that would be fucking awkward.
60 seconds would be a nightmare. Yeah. Well, until you turned up, it was quite a possibility, Hannah, to be honest with you.
You would have been fine. You would have been fine.
I am very grateful to both of you. I'm worried Scott's going to fall asleep or he's currently suffering from paint fumes, basically. Pygmalion 1963, thank you for the £5. It's very annoying that there are a class of people in this country that are above the law. Quite right.
Yeah.
And I think, to me, the problem, not the problem, the thing that this is highlighting is that Epstein's model is actually the same model that all government has been operating on in business. The relationship between big business, the law, celebrity, and politicians is that once you're inside, however you're dragged into a little set of relationships in a network, if something bad happens in that network and you feel culpable, then it just becomes normal for those groups. And I think that's what's going on in government at the moment. I think you let Mandelson in while you're dealing with riots, while you're dealing with this, while you're dealing with that, while you're trying to fight Farage. You finally shrug your shoulders and say, all right, he's Trump's mate, I'll let him be the ambassador. I'm not defending Starmer's decision or decision-making.
No, of course.
But then once he's in, what do? That he is now partly your responsibility, basically. You've made that decision already. You're already one step over the line. Because Starmer knew, we all knew what Mandelson was like.
Or you should. So you've either received bad advice or you were aware of the history and you thought the benefit, because he was known as the Prince of Darkness. Like I understand that he's like a hot player in the game and he's had many high positions within government over about 20, 30 years at least.
30 at least.
So we know his history. We know he's been involved in scandals, and obviously Starmer for some reason thought that it was worth the risk. But even that says to me, you have terrible fucking judgment, because the Epstein stuff was already floating around and you felt it more important than the safety of women and girls, which has been like a bit of a party line, I feel.
Yeah. And
that's poor judgment.
The other thing that these emails reveal, Hannah, is that Mandelson has always been regarded as this Machiavellian Prince of Darkness character, this very, very powerful politician in UK politics. George Osborne went to Corfu with him and Epstein. Basically, we're not even looking at the Tory chancellors that are connected in these ways.
And we should be, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. But he was connected even in the Tory government. He was wheedling his way around there, and he was always regarded as this powerful, connected human being, right? But when you see his correspondence with Epstein, he is a sycophantic suck-up to him.
Yeah,
literally love you.
We love you, friend. you know, oh, you'll get through this. Resilience is key. Art of war. Remember the art of war. Are you all right?
It's
Are you fucking all right? I'm sorry. I was going through more things today because I'd not looked at the files myself. I'd seen videos made about them, and I know, like, I feel like most people are taking screenshots of legitimate things, but I also feel like if you're going to use that in arguments, whether you're discussing it like this or you're going about your daily life and having discussions in life, it's important to sort of like make sure that those are not just people's opinions and that real or not sort of recreated. And I was just horrified, more and more horrified the more I read. And
all of them. You look at the way Fergie and Andrew talk to him as well. There's this
disgusting. It's almost like that Bezzy, like bosom buddy, like it felt to me, the correspondence on a lot of the emails between Epstein and whoever was talking to him felt very much, with a lot of these people, there was that full bosom buddy, like familial type correspondence.
Yeah, but also this sort of needy admiration for him as well. You know, you look at Elon Musk's emails to him. Please, can I come to your party? Please, can I come to your house? Please, can you invite me?
Please, I want to be cool as well, please.
Yeah. And then, talking of despicable men, he then tweets out, when it comes out that he was begging to go to parties on the island, Musk comes out and says, if I wanted to organise parties with underage girls, it would be no problem at all. I'm the richest man in the world. And you go, I don't think that's the best defence.
No.
Sfax points out a good point on the. I saw some of the agenda today with Phil, where Phil explained why Mandelson was chosen. I get all of Phil's reasons for that completely, but my argument is, okay, we've got this monster in the White House, and we need to communicate with him somehow. Why don't we pick one of his mates that's partied with him on Epstein's island? I'm not sure that that's a morally good decision on any.
It's not a moral decision. I understand the logic to it to a degree, but I don't like it.
It just put us in the same sycophantic situation.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Mandelson essentially was giving away, not even selling, secrets to Epstein constantly from number 10.
Yeah.
Sending him texts while he was going in between the secret tunnel between number 10 and the Treasury and the Ministry of Defence.
Well, and that's why he's being criminally investigated for misconduct in public office, is he not now? That's the official. I think he is actually criminally investigated.
Investigated.
Well,
not charged. Not charged with anything. Not indicted for anything.
Investigated.
Not arrested. Still living in his house that they searched 5 days after the news broke.
Probably fenced that house.
No, he owns it. He brought an £8 million house in Wiltshire miraculously, and we still can't track down where he got the money from.
Oh, charming. So that wasn't from the undisclosed home loan that he received interest-free from another MP in 1998 then? Not that one.
His finances took a burgeoning amount of money in, basically, when...
Jesus.
I think that's my biggest problem with it. I think the establishment at the moment in both countries, in America it's so blatant, it is so blatant. I don't understand how anybody who's even a Trump supporter can sit there and look at this and go, they're not covering anything up. But that's what people are saying, and that's what they're trying to believe. It's a cult,
isn't it? At this point, it is a cult.
Yeah.
It's the biggest cult we've ever seen. It has all of the hallmarks of a cult.
And some of the stuff that is hidden in there suggests that there is
cult-like behaviour.
Cult-like behaviour going on.
Yeah. Things that I read some of that stuff and I thought... This
is all made up. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the classic. If you put even if you put what we know to right now into a script and pitched it to Netflix would go, oh, come on. Give us a slightly more realistic scenario. Devil worshippers sacrificing children in acid. Come on. Give us a better idea than that.
Yeah.
What, really? Stephen Hawkins is at the party? Noam Chomsky? Woody Allen? Come on. That's not going to happen, basically.
Guys.
Scott is going to collapse on us.
I love you both, but I gotta fucking go.
Man, listen, you've done a great job on that room. When you sent me a picture earlier today with a black roller on the floor saying, I don't think I'll make it tonight, I'm in chaos. I'm looking at the black wall and thinking, I think I might need to intervene, basically, at this point. But it's nice to see you in good spirits. It feels to me like some time off work is going to help you.
I think so too, and I feel like I said, it was. I think you know, the last couple of days I've gone to the gym, but it's not been like I've just been hanging out at home, and I definitely needed a project like this, something sort of methodic, something I was gonna have like a real sense of accomplishment with afterwards, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's not done yet. Obviously, I'm sleeping in the middle of my room, surrounded by my furniture, which is all out of place, covered in plastic. So, it's still going to have like a real sense. But I definitely think it was a good idea. I kind of freaked out yesterday because I had posted a story on my Instagram, was just showing all the paint and all the supplies. But I'm going to do the bathroom as well. Our bathroom ceiling is chipping away. I think it's the humidity.
Right.
Yeah, I think the people who painted it last time did not use bathroom paint. So I bought some bathroom paint, and I'm going to paint the ceiling. And yeah, and so these are like little tasks I can do while I'm at home, and But I posted a story. My boss found my Instagram and went through all my stories.
Ooh.
And I was a bit like, okay, well, all my stories were yesterday, literally were. One story about working from home, which I'm very vocal about in the office anyway. A story of me at the gym, right? What I was playing on my fucking earphones in the gym, and the paint. And I actually wrote on the paint thing, like, what the fuck have I done? I actually have to do this now. Like, I bought all the paint. Shit.
Your boss then commented on these?
No, but you can see who sees your stories, right?
Oh, okay.
You could see they were looking at them on a basis, yeah.
And she doesn't follow me.
Okay, so she specifically searched your name or gone onto someone else's in order to have a look at what you're doing.
Yeah. Basically. And I kind of freaked out a little bit, but I thought to myself, you know what? If I go back to work and they say anything to me about it, I'm going to be like, yeah, but I wasn't here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I was working, but...
Honey, I'm going to caution you slightly not to talk too much about this on a video.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Just for your own good. If she's doing things like that, you don't want to be saying.
You don't know what she's looking at, right? Exactly. Well, I made my account private. I mean, that was just probably the best thing to do. Just like, okay.
It is. We do live in a world where bosses can.
People will look you up, yeah. But I didn't block her. I just sort of went, you know what? I'm gonna put on private. I'll let you know that I saw you. And you're not going to see anymore. And give me my fucking privacy while I have some, time off, signed off.
Trying to heal and take the space. So what you don't need is people from that world coming into your space uninvited.
Exactly that. That's kind of how I felt. So, maybe when it's all said and done, she can follow me on Instagram if she wants. But, right now, like, fuck off. Like, and I had to tell one girl that's been messaging me, she's lovely, she means well and everything, but I kind of had to say to her, like, I'm trying to take a step back.
Yeah, you need the space.
Like from everyone at work. And she's like, you don't mean me. And I said, well, please don't take this personally, but
yeah,
yes.
I kind of do. Like,
everyone.
Everyone means kind of you too, and I think the only I said I did message my friend Tom, who has been such a support. Or I said to him, not you. So if she opens her mouth in the office, she'll know why. But But yeah, I mean, generally, like, yeah, I sort of said to her, I need to remember what my life was like when I wasn't working there. I need to feel my life back because my life had been taken over by it.
There
Yeah.
we go. If it's any, my son, youngest son, had some problems last year, mental health problems that stopped him from being able to work. And he texted me yesterday. He's found a job after 3 months, basically. He's got his head back together, took some time out, and has landed himself a job, which I'm very proud of because he's pulled himself out of that hole all by himself, basically. So.
Good on him. I know how hard it is.
Yeah,
I don't want to lose this job. I want to, if I ever leave this job, I want it to be on my own terms. I don't want it to be because it got the better of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know how to do this job.
you're very good at it. For the
I hope
record,
so.
if your boss has found this video, Scott is one of the best employees that anyone could ever care to have, basically. And
Well, I'm the character of the office at least. So that's what they all say anyway.
Just don't let him decorate the office. That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
they've actually that all got done last year actually. And you know what? Most of it is this color. I'm not gonna lie. Like our office is white.
Is that where you took your inspiration from then?
Maybe. I'm still trying to work it out of my system, clearly. But I don't want to say where I work because we there's an Epstein connection.
All right,
I gotta
enough.
go on that one. Sorry,
right.
guys.
Love you.
Love you too. We'll see you guys later. Love you both. See you later. Bye.
Hannah, I want to, while we wind up the show, because I think we'll probably finish about 11:30, if that's all right with you.
Absolutely.
I am very grateful for you guys coming on tonight. Thank you.
Oh,
There's a moment when you start these shows on Graeme's behalf, and I know Graeme has the same feeling. I worked out why I'm one of Graeme's best friends, is that I am pretty much guaranteed to be here, basically, on a Friday night. But there's this moment at 29 minutes past 9 when you sit there going, right, everybody fucking hates me. I'm going to have to go and just go live now. It's like, it's terrible, stressful. But I want to bring us back to a downer in a way, because I think you might have more of an insight than most people on this. You were a young model. I think you were. How old were you when you were found as a model?
12. In fact, I can show you something. In fact, if I can grab it, I can show you something. I found something in my moving boxes the other day that will show you how young I was. I was 12, but let me grab it. 2 seconds.
Let me explain. I'm pretty certain anybody. Oh, thank you, Sarah Davis. I love you too. While we wait for Hannah to come back, anyone that doesn't know, Hannah is a model and has been doing it pretty much all of her life, and through some pretty traumatic times as well. And one of the things that I'm hoping, can you hear me? Have you got headphones in?
Yes, yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Well, I was just about to explain why I am so full of admiration for you.
Oh.
Because I think you've gone through a story in the modelling industry which is actually quite unusual. And
what do you think?
Yeah, because I think, listen, this is, I hope I'm not revealing anything that you don't want.
Oh no, my entire story is on the internet. So
yeah, so you were picked up as a young model. You were a pretty skinny young model, the kind of people that they look for, basically, at that age, basically. Also going through maybe an eating disorder at some phase in that process as well, which could explain all of that. And then you got over that and you let your body do what it does, basically. And you have continued to have a very successful career doing that.
Yes.
Pretty much by taking a right U-turn on what the modelling industry demands of people. And I think that's just an amazing story for me, basically.
Oh, thank you. That's really nice.
But you've got something to show us?
I found my first ever contract the other day. Obviously, I'm not going to go into the contract. I'll tell you who it was. I was scouted the week before my 12th birthday by Storm, who are the ones that have Kate Moss, as far as I'm aware, still signed to them. I was with my auntie, who is a textile designer. She's really cool. She specialises in machine knitting, and she knits all the stuff for Cats on Broadway.
Really?
She gets paid fuck all for it, might I add, but she's kooky, cool, ADHD, like definitely, like she's the creative in the family, and if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have a fucking clue what I was doing. And she did a lot of extra work for acting as well, on like The Bill and EastEnders. And she said to me, I was always a policewoman or a prostitute. So,
like, yeah, I'm not entirely sure if that's typecasting in any way, shape, or form.
She had a severe black shiny bob to here.
Oh, perfect.
And boobs. And so she was always a police, because it was quite a severe haircut.
Perfect for both jobs, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So I found this the other day.
Hannah at 12.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So that was one of my first Polaroids. In fact, so I was scouted. My auntie was like, I'm not her mum. You can't sign her right now. We have to go back and discuss this with the family, because her and my mum had a bit of a bet on. And my mum was like, she's a child. And my auntie was like, she's 5'9" and she's nearly 12. And she looks about 15. Now I look back, I'm like, I don't look 15, I look 12, other than my height. And this was also what they gave you. So now, so I used to have like a physical big book. I was going to say, is that around? In fact, my physical book is also around here. But now we do it on an iPad, or they've already seen you, so they don't care to look through something. You used to have to around a big book that was heavy, and you had to go into the agency.
I mean, I'm guessing now they're trawling Instagram and things basically to find models.
Oh yeah,
as well,
yeah? God, half of my reference images when I come to work are off of my Instagram, and quite often I've done my own hair and makeup.
Right.
We want this, and I'm like, because that's how I would turn up in person, like it's all fairly natural or whatever. But this is what we.
So how did you actually get scouted? Because you were scouted, or did you approach?
So I was shopping around Oxford Circus, and I was a big Topshop fan because I was nearly 12, and like Topshop was all the rage. And my auntie, honestly, she thought that I might do, and my mum was like, she's a fucking child, there's no way. And my auntie was like, she doesn't look like a child, she's tall, she's pretty. And like a lot of people, even when I was like tiny, was like, she should be a baby model. So I never was. So when I say to people that I've been modeling for 20 years, they assume because I was a child when I scouted, I did child modeling. I didn't. I signed to Storm. There wasn't a child's portion on that. I signed to a women's agency. So I was
at the age of 12. You would.
Yeah.
And you're modeling adult clothes, like clothes aimed at 20, 30-year-olds.
Yeah. I mean, for the first 3 or 4 years, I was doing what we call test shoots. So in order to build up a portfolio that you take to clients when you do a casting is like an interview for a job, you have to have a portfolio of images. So there'll be some hair up, there'll be some hair down, there'll be some beauty images to show that you can like do all the fancy stuff. If you need to do like a nail, whatever.
Yeah, I can do that. Maybe I could get spotted from this video.
It's all the things. So
just as an aside, we took maybe 3 selfies when you guys came to visit Brighton. And me and Graeme looked like me and Graeme looked terrible. And Hannah, as soon as she sees a camera lifted, it's like perfect poses.
But do you know what?
All right, sorry, but I stopped your story. You're being right. So you're doing these test shots, these effectively like auditions, and you're trying to get a portfolio together at that point, basically. Yeah. For a couple of years.
Yeah, for a couple of years, because I was still at school. So I got scouted at 12. They were like, she's very young, and I did a few. I think my first ever job actually was when I was my first ever paid job. So I'd done a few shoots before, and I was so nervous. And the makeup artist was so sweet to me because they knew like I'd come from Storm, but like I was a child, a literal child, but I was signed to a women's agency. So that it was like even the makeup artist were a little bit like, I don't know how I do her makeup because she's actually a kid, but they want her to look not like a kid. I always had a chaperone, might I add, because even at that age, you had to have a chaperone until you were 16. So I always had my auntie, my mum, or my dad with me, always. That didn't stop weird experiences from happening, I might add. But I always had a chaperone, so I did a lot of test shoots to build up my portfolio, and it was just getting used to the camera because it's weird. Having someone take your picture is really weird. Whereas now someone puts the camera at me and I'm like, you just go into like.
The bit that resonates with me there is that in my last marriage, I had a stepdaughter who had anorexia, and we were in a Westfield shopping, and she was approached by somebody that claimed to be from a modelling agency.
Yeah.
Which I think is the way that they operate, like you were on Oxford Street.
Yeah. Saturdays are a big scouting day, generally speaking, and it is normally shopping malls and really busy.
Right. Well, and unlike your auntie, because did you have an eating disorder at that age or not? It came later.
No, I didn't. So, and I didn't even realise until fairly recently, I'd say in the last year or so, did I even realise that I probably did, because I was never diagnosed. So it only came about because I always described myself as having a near miss with one. Yeah. Because I know that the habits I was doing and
you were developing habits that
were not good. I had made myself throw up. I was not eating all day, and I was eating with family. Like it was an eating disorder. Now I look back, it was, but I was like, oh well, I brought myself out of it. I never got a diagnosis. It doesn't count because other people.
I mean, at that time, I just had a leukemia diagnosis. She'd had a anorexia diagnosis, and this guy comes up, and to be honest with you, the difference between the situation with your auntie and me being there at that time was that I gave that guy a fucking mouthful, because I told him that she'd got an eating disorder, and that was the only reason that you were looking. She literally was skinny as a rake. She was nearly dead. And that was the look they were looking for. And I just said, I said, you just need to ask yourself morally whether this job is something that you feel okay about. Because to be honest with you, you're part of the problem, as far as I can tell. Can I just, before we move on, Sfax says, actually Sfax earlier on said, we don't always agree with Mike, but we do love him. So I'm very happy with that. Thank you, Sfax. but also Mike's ADHD is showing currently. I'd love to know what I'm doing that indicates that. But Lee Corn, thank you for the £5. I don't know who Hannah was. I didn't know who Hannah was, so I Googled her and just watched her difficult video on YouTube. Lots of love and support to you, Hannah.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It was something that, because I had a channel before, I felt was really important to share. Because it's funny when you do like any kind of social media. So my channel was just for fun. It was beauty because I did train in makeup artistry. I've been in the chair a lot. I had an interest in beauty, and like people are fascinated by models and the modeling industry and what that's like and whether it is really glamorous. And actually, I'm telling you now, sometimes it is, sometimes it's really lonely and a bit shit. But I wanted to just show you that like models are people. I fell into it at a young age. I had other plans. I dropped out of college. I don't have a degree. I'm not university educated. All of my political things comes from my own reading, my own research, talking to other humans. It's sort of like self-done because those are one of my interests, a bit like the gardening or the reptiles and all that kind of stuff. And it was really important to me to share that human part of me because I'd had so many comments because I went from super skinny to... people were commenting saying that my hands looked fat. And I was like, oh. And there was like, I went from like, at one point I was like a size 6. And by that point I'd, finished out. I'm 5'10.5". I mean, you've met me. I'm tall. I'm not a small lady.
No.
But also I'm, bearing in mind I'm now considered plus size. I mean, you saw me in baggy sweats and whatever. I'm not plus size either.
No. Well, that's the irony, isn't it? That you're now modelling clothes that are aimed at plus size people. People who are like, I don't know, in the size 20s and above or whatever, 18 and above. But I hope I'm not revealing too much. But I think you're a size 16, a Marilyn Monroe size, basically.
Yeah.
Which puts you on the lower end of what would be below the plus sizes,
Yeah, I
basically.
think the average woman in the UK is, I think, 5'4", 5'5", and a UK 16. I'm 5'10" and a half and a 14 to 16. But
Right.
what I did was, when I gained weight, you can't compete with genetics and you can't spot reduce. I'm really into my training. I do a lot of like heavy weightlifting. I'm very into my nutrition stuff. So also I'm veggie, so we have to compromise for protein, all that kind of stuff. I'm very educated around that, and I've been lifting for like 10 plus years. I have straps and a belt and all sorts. So we're not talking like little pink 2 kilos. We're talking, she does a bench press, I've got a bench in my kitchen.
Right.
So
it's not just an Instagram
no,
meme,
it's not just for the likes. This stuff is really important, and
But
it's
looking at the time that you would at the time that you were scouted in those early years of modelling,
yeah.
you said you had a near miss on eating disorders to some
Yeah.
extent. Did you ever feel that within that world that you had a near miss with an Epstein type world? Because one of the ways that him and Trump, Les Wexler, who appears to be the foundation of Epstein's money, is the guy that runs Victoria's Secret, who owns Victoria's Secret. And it looks like there was a network of modelling auditions that turned out to not be modelling auditions.
That is a very common setup. I was very lucky. I've had multiple bad experiences with photographers because they were arseholes. To put it lightly, they were arseholes, and I'm very big on professionalism. So if I see you screaming at the runners, or you're taking a picture of me like this and you're not even looking and you're on the phone, that's rude as shit, and I don't like it. Especially if that behaviour has been, everyone has a bad day. So I'd met one particular photographer multiple times, and he had exhibited the same behaviour, and multiple people in the room who were also professionals. There was this one amazing Glaswegian hair session stylist, because now hair and makeup, it's one person. Rarely now, it's all budget, like everything's sort of shrunk down, and people don't have money for amazing trips and all the stuff that used to happen like 10 years ago when all the time. So now hair and makeup, you're not just a makeup artist, you have to do basic hair, all that kind of stuff. There was this one Glaswegian session stylist that was like, he's just a fucking prick, and he would come over and like protect and go, do you need a break? Because this guy was so rude, and it was the second time I worked with him. So stuff like that had happened. I think when you're in high fashion, there's more attitudes and things because people think they're really important because the brand they're working for. Whereas my attitude to working was always, I'm lucky to be here. It's a competitive industry, whatever part you're in. I'm not special. I'm just a person. I want to have a nice day. I want you to pay me well. I'd like it if you gave me lunch, and I want to go home as soon as possible, having done a good job for my client, had a bit of fun, and then fuck off. That's my attitude to work, because I'm special. I am a person. I get spots. I have a fat day. I don't look good in everything. I have cellulite. I have stretch marks. That's just what people are. I just have a face that sells things for certain clients who think I fit the brand. That's nothing to say I'm above anyone else or whatever.
Yeah, which again just comes back to what I think is remarkable about you. You just treat it as a job, basically.
But it is.
Yeah.
I'm a plant-loving, gardening weirdo that has a fucking snake as a pet. Yeah. People don't expect that. They look at me and they think, oh, she must like really love Louis Vuitton. I can't think of anything worse than someone giving me a designer handbag as a gift, because I'm like, you don't fucking know me. No. Well, with money I could have bought like 3 perennials for next year's blooms. Do you know? it's that kind of thing. But so I've had bad experiences with attitudes for sure, and I did have one particular experience when I was 15. I can't even remember his name. It was Christopher something, because if I had the name, I would fucking share it with you. Frankly, at this point, I don't give a shit. Say it to my face, don't give a shit. It was a particular photographer. I had taken my dad on a shoot, and it was for Littlewoods. I'm not aware that this photographer actually even shoots for that brand anymore. But Littlewoods is like the equivalent of like it's like a Debenhams type thing, and they shot.
Yeah, sure.
And I was maybe just 16 at the time. and I'd had a very cordial relationship. We'd had a really good shoot. It was shooting catalogue stuff. Like, it was shooting e-com. So when I say e-com, so you see big campaigns and stuff that end up in windows. That's what we would call like a campaign or an editorial or something like that. Editorial would be in a magazine as well. When we say we shoot e-com, e-com means e-commerce. So when I say my bread and butter is e-com, so today that's what I've been shooting. It's when you go online and you click on a website and the girl is wearing that is e-com. It's normally on a white background and there's hundreds of photos. It's like your e-shopping images.
Right.
That's
Yeah. Okay.
most models' bread and butter is. I'd had a day doing that for Littlewoods, and because we get a call sheet, my dad had come on the shoot with me because I must have been then 15 because I required a chaperone, and I'd taken this photographer's number off of the call sheet afterwards, and I'd messaged him and said, look, thank you so much for a really lovely day. It was really good to work with you. Look forward, hopefully, like, we'll see each other again, because that's just polite, normal, cordial.
You're pitching for the next gig as well, and
it's pitching and it's professionalism, and
because my guess is that the photographers go through a list of girls that they could call in for a thing, recommend people to clients, etc. Basically,
it's very clicky. If the client loves your face, but you're not to work with, you're not getting booked.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
If everyone has a nice day with you, or the photographer's like, oh, I have this really great model, I work with her on so many other things, but they're not competitors, they'll be like, she's fucking great, get her in. It's a lot about who you know and your experience as well as what you look like.
Yeah.
As it is in a lot of industries, I feel like.
Almost all. I think I was talking to your dad about it the other day, basically.
Yeah.
In the chat, that,
yeah.
It's he was making a comparison to the Epstein world of a series of networks that you don't know the other people, but you assume that they are.
Yeah, exactly that.
And you play the game. Yeah, everybody plays the game of trying to.
Yeah, you have to do a little bit of arse licking, and okay, so I am sort of that way inclined anyway, in that I would always thank people, and I would make tea or coffee for the runner, or I'd go, don't hold that, I'll hold my own fucking umbrella, thank you, and I wouldn't be an arsehole on set. But I do try and make an effort, especially because I also definitely want to get hired again.
Yeah, of course.
As soon as you get onto that set, you're on.
So with this photographer, you sent him a text saying, enjoyed the day, thanks very much, bear me in mind for the next thing, basically.
So did I, and it started as a bit like, oh, nice, and then I texted him back in, I was like, oh, no, that's great, like, hopefully see you soon kind of thing. And he continued to text me, and he was like, I could tell you're not the average 16-year-old or whatever, and it just got fucking creepy. So I had to in the end, and now I remember, oh my god, I got one of like what I feel like is like a really good picture out of it, because he wanted to do like a test shot with me afterwards. He was like, oh, we've got some extra time before you finish, like the whole team's around, so it's not like just him and I. And he was like, do you want to do some lingerie ones? And because I was like fine with it, we did it, and it's a beautiful black and white picture. Actually, if I can dig it out from somewhere at some point, I will show you it. It's quite a sheer bra, and it's me sort of doing I'm sort of pulling the top of my jeans down. Now I think I'm 16. The fuck? But at the time I was like, I look really hot, I look really good, because I did.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether now I look back and I'm like, was that actually appropriate? Actually, I felt comfortable, and he didn't push me into it. I was willing to do it when he suggested, I've got this and this, and the stylist was there, and she put a different necklace on me, and so it was all very professional. And now, after the interaction that I had with him later, where he was like, I'm, totally, but you're not a typical 16-year-old and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, he was in his late 30s. He was more than double my age.
Yeah, so you can see how they're testing the water. And my guess is, actually, with your attitude, you probably didn't fit the bill. You probably didn't fit I could manipulate this person, basically.
I think if anyone would have tried too hard, I'm extremely close to my family, and they were involved at every stage. And also, just don't fuck with me.
Yeah, that's entirely.
Because at a certain point,
Darian de Star, thank you very much for the £10 super chat. I'm just gonna try this because Diz is still here, and I do have the animation at some great length I downloaded it. So let's see if we can. Yeah, confetti. Do that. Well done. Diz, that was for you. That was for everybody that has paid tonight. Thank you so much, all of you. That's, you will be buying cocktails for Graeme at his Ash gig, I imagine, after it for a romantic night. But Darian says for his £10 super chat, Hannah, did the male models have to go through similar things to you? Just asking because you're a professional here.
Do you know what? It's really interesting. So I have a very close friend of mine who was. He's done some really decent. I'm talking like Armani campaigns and things. He's quite a bit older than me. And I lived with him for quite a long time, actually, in London, because he bought a house quite a while ago. And then I came up and I was like, hey, and now he sort of does directing stuff. He's a fantastic, beautiful human. Love him to bits. Absolutely. Because, funnily enough, a lot of the designers, especially the high fashion designers, are gay.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So they're absolutely, it goes on. I feel like the focus is on women because generally speaking it is kind of that, especially when you're starting. A lot of like general test photographers and campaign photographers are straight and they like young, hot women. But as you get up the ranks, funnily enough, it is a lot of gay designers and that then there does become a bit of an issue. And yeah, I know some real horror stories. If you're curious, I'll tell you.
I mean, just to keep bringing this back to the Epstein files, I read a story today that because there's a lot of mystery as to how Epstein got his money at all. You know, he was a maths teacher, unqualified maths teacher. He dropped out of university.
Of his wealth, to be honest, I just assumed he'd owned some company or.
No. He was a maths teacher in a private school. He dropped out of university and has never explained why. There's some story about that. But there is a story going around at the moment that Les Wexler, who was his first client, the first guy that he started taking money from, was bisexual, and that he made Epstein have sex with him. Apparently, that's the story. And Epstein then blackmailed him to get the money, and that's how he built his model. And it's one of the things that I get in a lot of trouble for saying, and I'm sure people will object because there is no evidence. But I really don't like the fact that people say about Mandelson and others, well, he can't have been involved in the sex stuff because he's gay. And it would be nicer to have Scott in the room while we have this conversation, to be honest with you. I totally get that. But I just kind of go, do you genuinely believe that this evil fucking monster wasn't capable of trafficking young boys just as easily as young girls? I think he had a disregard for humans that weren't rich and powerful anyway, basically. So
yeah, I don't think a lot of the time I don't think it matters. I think if you can do that to a young girl, you can do it to a young boy. I mean, I'm a bi girly representing, thank you. But
sorry, did you want confetti for that or something?
Yes, please.
It's the only animation I've got. I don't have a I don't have a let's celebrate
It is. I think we get a lot of the boy stuff in the Catholic Church, and I think it's related because that's frowned upon in the Catholic Church. And I don't know why that's because I'm sure there's also other abuse that goes on. I don't think it's just a gay thing. The Epstein files, I don't think it's just a young girl thing either. I think if you can abuse humans like that, children like that, I think it stops at one gender. Because
and a lot of the stories are about brutality and torture.
Yes,
and things,
exactly. Because it's not just about the sex thing or the gender thing. I think a lot of this stuff is about the torture thing. Well, I don't want to bring it down to if you guys haven't gone into lots of the things like you and I probably have, and as many of us on the pod have. It's definitely more than just this is a young girl I want to fuck. It's a power thing, it's a struggle thing, it's a torture thing, it's a pain thing. There's lots of other things that wouldn't need to apply to just one gender. So I don't believe it's just that at all.
No. I mean, there's no. Let's probably not do details. Basically, you're right.
No,
But there are
I
witness
feel
reports
like-
of young girls not doing what they've been told to do by these men and being beaten up for it, and those are FBI witness reports, basically. So.
But even like today, I saw something. This is not like the worst thing, so I'll say it. I mean, it is obviously, but someone that was tied up and Jeffrey Epstein was pictured burning using a magnifying glass.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to do that on the grass as a kid because it was like, oh my God, sunlight. Oh, this makes burning. Oh, that's really cool and science and whatever. And admittedly, used to try and get the ants. That's a bit fucked up. Now I'm like, oh, true.
How you've changed. How
That's
you've
the
changed.
start of my journey. And now I'm a vegetarian and ex-vegan. So I'm like, oh, did we do a full set? But it's not necessarily just about the sex part. I think there are so many other things that are a bit, more than a bit fucked up that surround this that we haven't explored yet because it's not been the focus.
Can I just say, because Diz, you didn't mean to delete that super chat. Torquemada paid £2, and I believe what it said was nobody cares about male suffering in these situations, and I think Diz accidentally deleted that, but I think it's probably true. I think there are plenty of stories in the files of boys, particularly in the ranch, the place that he'd got in Arizona, I think. Somebody will correct me on that one. I might have made that up, but he has a ranch, and there are stories. There's a terrifying audio recording of a confession from a young man, basically that.
And can I just say, like, we should care.
Yeah.
And I wonder if, and I'm not saying that this makes it right, by the way, because it does not. Because if we have the evidence, this should be also in the front pages and we should be discussing it. But I do feel like because of the climate that we're living in, women are more likely to come forward.
Well, that's the thing
there is
that's
a
really struck me this week is those
Yeah.
survivors. It really has. There's I saw an interview with one of the senators, Khan, the Democrat, the Massey's partner in this, that brought the thing forward. And he was being interviewed on IHOP today. It's well worth going to watch, actually, because he's very, very forthcoming. But he was basically saying, "Look, I'm a I think he's a senator, isn't he? Yeah, or a congressman, whichever." He said, "I'm a politician. Massey, my partner in this, is a politician. We're trying to work in a bipartisan way on this." But we are under massive pressure for some incredibly powerful people, donors, billionaires, politicians, ex-politicians, in both parties, to shut up, basically, to stop doing this. And he said, and if I, who consider myself reasonably protected by the law of this country, much more reasonably than any of these survivors, because I have the privilege of being able to stand in Congress and say and name names, and I cannot go to prison for doing that, or I can't be taken to court for defamation. One of the reasons the survivors are not coming out with all the information that they could, with naming all the names that they could, is that these people are terrifyingly powerful. One of the people accused in this is Bill Gates, right? There isn't one of us not using Microsoft software somewhere around us at the moment.
This is the problem, isn't it? Because even if it were true, and even which a lot of it fucking is, let's just put it out there, it is. The litigation they would have to go through to get a criminal charge would cost them so much money they could not even get there.
And they're already painting stories about and again, I think this goes to Torquemada's point. And listen, Diz definitely has apologised for doing that, Torquemada. There was absolutely no editorial on that. It was Diz is one of the best moderators of this chat. We do get trolls sometimes, and I get to see that when I'm on here as Graeme. or as an editor, basically. And there are a number of posts that are taken down, most of them with my name in them. Anyone that says Mike Dix, it automatically gets taken down by YouTube. I have no idea why. What's wrong with the name Mike? It makes no sense to me.
It's a good name.
Makes no sense to me.
Name. It's a nice name.
Yeah, but I think those women are incredibly brave. You know, a number of them. You're talking about people that this was done to them 20 years ago, 25 years ago. In a number of cases, they've got married, they've got kids, they're in their 40s now, and they're standing up. And as more and more of them stand up, more are coming out
or are joining. Because there is always that fear that you won't be believed as a woman, because that little like, oh, but false accusations will always come up, especially if that man has a wife, has children himself, has a good moral standing within society. All of that builds this sort of ideal that they can't possibly have done that.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
and they're just going to challenge the character of the survivors, aren't they? Basically, they're just
absolutely. So, you know, she was molested or abused or whatever at a super young age when she was a fucking child, and then she went off the rails because she had trauma, which, you know, that's probably going to happen. If it doesn't, you're very lucky that it doesn't, because there are going to be certainly mental health issues that you have to overcome after an experience like that. And then society tells you you must be a fucking liar because you ended up doing things that were self-destructive most often, I find. Is quite interesting.
It's also interesting, Warren. Can I just ask you, honestly, this chat is a very good chat. This is a very good community. Nobody has picked on you in this situation. And I have brought up your point, and as Hannah says, I think it's a valid point. So, you know, it's genuinely an error, and we can certainly say that. And nobody in the chat is piling in on you. They're just trying to explain. Yeah, to me, I think all of us have to be supporting those survivors and playing the narrative that they want us to play. I think that's what it fundamentally comes down to. And, you know, it's like when good King Charles turns around and says our thoughts are with the survivors, you go, well, give them some fucking money as well then, basically, and pay for their court costs and pay for the damages that have been done to all of them. You know, your bloody thoughts are useless. It's like thoughts and prayers after a shooting.
And the clapping for the NHS.
Yeah.
It's not.
I'm not entirely convinced at this time of night that Jimmy Savile's best mate should be thinking about the victims of sexual crimes, basically, because I'm not sure how he's thinking about them. No. Anyway, that's my knighthood lost for sure. So Mike is not going to happen.
Oh, it sounds so good though.
I'd love to get a knighthood just so that he has to tap me on the shoulders with a sword and say, "Arise, Sir Dix." And then you'd just crack up laughing, wouldn't you?
It would be so good. It would be so good.
I need to. It's 11:30, and unlike Graeme, I'm not going to drag us into the midnight hour because you've worked all day, and I actually do need to get my sleep. I need to mention, I hope she's still awake. Hello, Maria, if you're watching.
Yeah.
Let's call out to the Mexicans in Spain, basically.
Te amo.
Te amo. Te amo. She's I'm learning Spanish. I'm learning the eventually I'll understand an entire Bad Bunny song as long as he's singing about how much he loves somebody.
Come on, Mike. I know enough to be polite and a little bit conversational if you ever need to practice. Like I could legit text you and not use Google Translate.
I'm getting there, as long as we're constantly having a conversation about how much we adore each other, and I know some filthy Mexican words. So
yes, I don't. So you should teach me that, because I'd like to know some filthy words. So that'd be cool.
The best thing to say to a Mexican, apparently, guys in particular, is to say "ched away."
Okay.
Ched away. It basically just means dude, cool dude, basically.
Hello.
You say that, you will get tequilas brought for you in a bar. I am told by my my teacher and translator. She actually sent me a Valentine's gift today. This is going to get slightly personal, but I love her. She sent me some amazing books. So, A Short History of the World in 50 Tyrants, which looks like a really good read.
That's right up your fucking street. Yeah.
But then this really interesting book by somebody I'd never come across, but apparently is a massive book
Gabriel
in Mexico.
Garcia Marquez. Oh, nice.
And it's called 100 Years of Solitude. And apparently it's a whole literary vein that we don't tap into in Europe. The back cover says, blending political reality with magic, realism, fantasy and comic invention.
So I think stuff like that, for someone like you or me, books are really hard and you have to get them right. That is really fucking thoughtful.
Yeah.
Love that for you so much. That
she's
just
put a lot
makes
of thought in.
Heart happy.
I feel bad. I sent her some roses.
Roses are expensive right now.
And when you're sending them in Spain,
and
basically.
yeah, and the level of you have to organise that. That's full thought. That's also impressive.
There is hope for everybody. Don't mention Valentine's Day. I'm sad, single and lonely. Pygmalion, I am so sorry. If I could send you some flowers, I would. Valentine's Day is a torturous thing when you're not in a relationship. I totally understand that. And I'm sorry for bringing it up and being a little bit smug about my situation at the moment. But, I get it. I totally hear you. And I think it's a terrible Hallmark card event that shouldn't exist. The very point, the card that Maria sent me and the card I put on the flowers was this shouldn't be necessary because we should express this every day, basically.
Yeah, every day is an opportunity to show those that you love. And I also think there's so much pressure put on romantic relationships at Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is just, okay, so it's overly commercialized in order for our capitalist society to make money. We know that. It's a nice thing for couples to do because it gives them something to go out on a date for when they're too tired and normally they wouldn't let's face it. However,
just look at the fact that Graham's not here tonight, basically, because he's...
God, Graeme buying into society, taking his wifey out on a date. How Valentine. Frankly, abandoning us on a Friday night. How dare he? However, I just want to say, it doesn't have to be romantic love. It can just be about your friends, the people you love. Just sending a nice message because you appreciate the people in your...
Absolutely. And in Mexico, that's the way it works.
Yeah.
Culturally, it is about showing love for your friends and family, basically, on those days, because that's important as well, Pygmalion. And we're not going to rub this in anyone's face. It can be an awful time if you pay attention to the corporates that want you to believe that it's the most important thing. I feel pretty much the same way about Christmas most years, to be honest with you. Liz Allen, just before we go, thank you for the $5. Let's have a look at what we've got. Mafalda is a great comic strip from Argentina. Comic books are a great way to pick up the language. Awesome. Maria spent some time living in Argentina. Didn't like it there. Hannah, thank you. If I could send you some flowers, I would send you them instantly, basically. We could always pretend. But thank you so much. It is a onerous task to take over from the world traveller Graeme on this, and I think we should always, all of you in the chat, should give him an enormous amount of credit for providing this community and providing us for a space to talk.
He's on every day, and him and I have hopefully also, him and I have been discussing rebranding my YouTube channel. It is going to be hardening, not going to lie to you. There'll be a bit of politics and pot with me, stuff like that, I'm sure. So if you want to, I put something in the chat today. So if you want to go ahead and there's all beauty and SFX stuff on there now, body painting, all sorts, vlogs from COVID. If you want to see my mom, my dad, God, little bits and pieces. But Graeme was like, why don't you just use the channels there? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm scared. And he's been so supportive and so lovely.
Yeah. I think it's a great idea. Graeme told me about it the other day. I think it's brilliant.
I am renaming it.
I come back to the fact, Hannah, of how impressed I am for you to make a path for a career with the assets that you've got and the interests that you've got.
Yeah.
And then to still be thinking about now, okay, where am I going to shift now, basically, and how am I going to take that with me?
I mean,
And you've got valuable political opinions, valuable opinions about lizards and plants. And I think combining those things is always a good idea as well, because a number of us are politics wonks, and far too much sometimes. I have a lot of friends that go, okay, Mike, enough. Basically, can we talk about your cancer for a while so I can cheer myself up, basically? But you've got this diverse range of interests, and I think it's really good that you're going to use your channel to do that. It should be great.
I think people are people, and sometimes we need something else. And I'm one of those people. So I was a bit of a nerd at school. I really was. So until I got to college, where I got a bit druggy and had a bit of a rebellious phase where I was climbing out of my parents' bungalow window to get picked up by a boy, which I think is pretty standard for a 17-year-old. I was a straight A student. I was a top band for everything. I was straight A student, A-star student. I was prefect. I was sports captain. I was shot putter, by the way. Can I just say? She's always had shot put and relay, and I was always last leg, and my team always won, so I loved it. Because
we have that in common.
I like to win. But
I had problems with my weight as a teenager, so I went from
Did you?
I went from shot put and discus one year to the 100 meters and the relay the following year, and then back to shot put and discus the year after that. And the only common thing was rugby all the way through it, basically. But I went from the backs to the forwards and the forwards to the backs all the time. So it was
I feel rugby is such a gentleman's game. It is, but it isn't. We're known as a gent because we don't argue with the ref. You do as you're told, it is, and it's a respect thing.
Very much so.
Rugby players play dirty. My brother, until 2 years ago, played men's rugby. He's got a shoulder he can pop out, all sorts. And I had to give it up because I can damage my face, basically. So I started secondary school, and then I was bruised. I'm bruised every weekend. This is not looking good. When I was doing this, there was a big bruise here. I was okay, because you have to go. It's cheek to cheek. Let's not do these wafty arm things for a tackle. Let's go cheek to cheek.
I can only imagine you running around the pitch going, "Not my face, not my face. I'm a model."
Yeah, I'm no, not my face.
It's not going to work in rugby.
No.
Maybe American football where they wear armor and helmets.
I'm it's the shit version of rugby, isn't it?
I got into some really with the Bad Bunny story this week. I did a couple of posts. I did a cartoon of Bad Bunny that I was quite proud of, and
I've not seen it.
I had a number of people, Americans, because I think the description I put on there was I watched the half time, but I couldn't understand anything about the thing you call a sport. Basically, and I just got piled on, and then there's a bunch of rugby fans, English rugby fans, just coming up with their nationalist pro-rugby conversations underneath it, going, "We don't need to wear helmets and fucking armor," basically.
Yeah.
Anyway, Six Nations again. Is it Six Nations again this weekend? Yeah.
Yeah, I think
an enjoyable.
Dad'll be watching it. Yeah.
Excellent. Right. Well, it's been a pleasure meeting your dad in the chat as well. So that's a nice.
Yes, he's part of the Politics Social now.
I tried to get him on here tonight by saying, "Hey, maybe you and I could hang out tonight and be a couple of proto boomers talking about how young policemen look." And he went, "You know me so well, Mike, but I go to bed at 9 o'clock." Basically.
The horrible thing is, he actually.
We are just so everyone knows in the chat. I am pretty much the same age as your dad. I think basically he might be a bit younger than me.
63 years old. You're
63.
younger.
He's as old as my eldest brother. Yeah.
Yeah. My dad is a legend, and I am determined to get him on something here. Because
we'll get him on.
Absolutely. If someone does an earlier sesh, he'd be well up for that. His degree was international relations and politics, and he specialised in American politics. He's been in the Navy. He was a civil servant. He's
a great sounding bloke. Good sense of humour as well.
Oh my God, the banter in the James household is quite brutal, but.
Well, I'll now I've got control of Graeme's channel. I'll come up with a show and we'll talk. we'll never say goodnight if we don't go now, basically, and everyone's saying goodnight and God bless you.
Right.
Thank you, everybody in the chat. Everybody for contributing. Everybody's contribution is welcome. Those of you that are alone for Valentine's, you're not. You've got all of these people here. I'm pretty certain Graeme is going to try and. I'm pretty certain Graeme's going to be trying to broadcast over the weekend. Because he's not asked me to do it. So I'm fairly certain he's planning to do that. And we'll probably make that the subject of one of the videos that he talks about this week. Thank you, Hannah and Scott, and Scott's dark bedroom. It's nice to see it and see that he was reasonably okay with his.
I want to see it in the daylight. I want to see it in the daylight.
I was a bit worried when he sent me a picture tonight of why he couldn't come on. I'm like, oh, please come on, because I think I need to talk to you. And yeah, thank you all. I don't know when Graeme's next show is. I am fairly certain he's doing the Sunday service as normal, basically.
Yeah.
And I don't think he normally does a show on a Saturday. So see you all next week, everybody. We're not doing a Drawn Together next Thursday. That cartoon I did of Pam Bondi this week was very popular. So thank you, anyone that tuned into that. And I'm just going to do one last, just to cheer up Diz, and as a Valentine's present.
Yay!
All right. Thanks, guys. Thank you very much. And we will see you soon.